Hey YouTube, my name is Andrea, my friends call me E, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So if you are new here, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for your support. So I wanted to do a video about my home buying experience as a first-time home buyer. I closed on my home March 26th of 2021. And I just wanted to share some tips and tricks that I learned and a little bit about my experience, especially if you are a first-time home buyer in the Dallas area. So to give you all a little bit of backstory, I moved to Dallas December of 2019. I figured, why not? Let's give it a go. I always wanted to move to Texas. And so here I am in Dallas about to start a new life. So I moved here in Dallas, and then of course March 2020 everything gets shut down. So I didn't get to really experience much of the city that I really wanted to, but what I did see of the city, I wasn't against it. I was like, you know what, why not make this home. Homes are a lot more affordable here than, let's say, the Washington DC area where I'm from, and also more affordable than San Diego, where I moved from before I got here to Dallas. At the time, I was actually dating a guy, and I was enjoying him. We were enjoying each other's company, and I was like, you know what, I guess I'll just stay in Dallas. It was like he was like a bonus part to Dallas, and so I started looking at homes, and I was like, you know what, I can do this. So in January of 2021, I reached out to a friend on Facebook, Dr. Randy Bell. I reached out to him to be my realtor. He went to Florida A&M University. Shout out to Rattlers. So I reached out to him and I was like, hey, I see you're a realtor in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I think I want to buy a home. Like, what do we do? Where do we go from here? So he was asking, like, how serious are you? And I was like, no, I think I'm serious. Like, let's get on it. So he started me with the process. He told me what I needed to do next. Gave me some lenders to reach out to so that I can get pre-qualified. And, I told him kind of like the homes that I was looking for. I wanted a single family home. I wanted at least 3 bedrooms. I wanted 2.5 bathrooms. But of course, a 2-bedroom was like, the 2 bathrooms were like a minimum for me. I had to have a garage. What else? And my ideal location. My ideal location was between Dallas and Fort Worth. And that was pretty much it. Like, those are my deal breakers. I told him what my max budget was. And this was before I got pre-qualified for an amount from the lenders, but I told him, ideally I don't want to go above this amount. And I think at the time that amount was like $250. So he was like, all right, cool. Your deal breakers, your must-haves, they sound reasonable. So, we got to work. I reached out to 3 of the lenders that he recommended, and they got me pre-qualified based on my credit amount and based on my income at the time. And yeah, that's pretty much how everything got started. And then we started hitting the streets and looking at homes. So he would send me some homes and I would say, I don't really like the way this house look, or, I don't really like that neighborhood that it's in, or I just can't envision myself here. And so we started to easily weed out homes. But we did, of course, hit the streets and actually go look at homes. The first home I went to look at was in Arlington. And Arlington is between Dallas and Fort Worth, so it's in my desired location. It looked really nice on the pictures. In person, it really wasn't that nice. Like, it definitely looked like someone did like some very cheap reno to it, and everything just looked cheap. And then we went into the kitchen, and there was, you can tell they had a dog, because they had like a door, like a doggy door on the wall. so that when the dog came in and out, he would come into the kitchen and into like a fenced area into the kitchen. And then when you looked outside, there was a fenced area outside for the dog, but it was full of dog poop. Like full. It was disgusting. So disgusting. I don't understand how anyone could live in that house. It was just disgusting. The appliances were really old. And I was just like, yeah, no. And my realtor was disgusted. I was like, who is supposed to clean this up? Because I wouldn't do it, you know? So who's going to do it? So yeah, that was dead. Absolutely no. We saw a couple of other houses. Some more in Arlington. There was one in Mesquite. Well, there were two in Mesquite that I remembered that we looked at. But the first home that I put an offer on was in a city called Rowlett, Texas. So this home was a little newer. When I say a little newer, I mean like in the 2000s, I believe the home was built. But it looked like a museum. Like it looked like nobody touched a thing. The artwork in the home looked like something you would see in like an old American history museum. The appliances looked like they came with the house. Like nothing was updated. But it was reasonably priced. And so I was like, okay, you know, I'm going to put in my first offer here. My realtor was suggesting, you know, write a letter and let them know that you're really interested in this house. You're a first-time home buyer. You know, maybe they'll show some sympathy towards you, right? So I did that. I talked about how I'm excited to put in my first offer for this home. And I really love the home. I love the neighborhood that it's in. Is really quiet, and you know, I'm excited to put in an offer for this home. Needless to say, my offer was not accepted, but get this, there were 34 other offers put in on that house. Crazy. Keep in mind, this is probably about late January, early February of 2021. So even then, like right before the market is blowing up, this is right at that time, right? So now we're realizing, okay, things are about to get a little crazy if this house is getting 34 offers. So I remember my realtor asking me, are you interested in going in above asking? At the time I was like, no, that's not happening. So he was like, all right, cool. I know now. All right. So boom. We go to a house in Mesquite. This house was a lot newer as well. It was in the 2000s. The neighborhood seems cool. The house has like all of their upgrades and bells and whistles for this suburb, I guess. And so this house did not look like all the houses in the neighborhood, but you can tell like on the insides they had their upgrades. The home was beautiful. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a cute little backyard. I want to say they had like a batter's kind of cage set up in their backyard. The driveway faced the alleyway. And then they had a carport as well. So it was a nice home. All one level. No complaints, you know, for this home. There was like 1 bedroom. I didn't like the carpet, but whatever. It's all cosmetics. So we put in an offer for the home. I don't remember, you know, the asking price and what my offer price was, but I know I did go above asking on that one, but not much. Maybe like $2 grand, $3 grand at most above asking for that home. And I did not get that home. I did put in a letter for that home as well because it had like a Mediterranean vibe. And I remember mentioning that in the letter. If I could find the letter, I would, but it's not that deep. Anyway, so I don't know how many offers were put in on that home. All I know is that I didn't get the home. Cool. Everything happens for a reason. I wasn't upset. I wasn't mad. It is what it is. So of course I get back online. I'm looking at homes. My realtor is looking at homes for me as well. And I come across this house and I was like, this is the house. This is the house that I want. It's in the ideal area between the two, Fort Worth and Dallas. And it had a pool. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. And I'm like, this is it. This is the house. I showed the guy that I was dating at the time, and he was like, yeah, this is it. This is what you want. This is exactly the area you want to be in. You know, it has everything that you want. Like, I could definitely see this for you. And he was like, I'm going to help you with the floors, because I know you don't like these floors, but I got some connects. It's cool. You know, we're going to make this work. And I'm like, bet, let's do it. Now, at the time, he was not talking about moving in with me. It was nothing like that. He knew that I wanted this house, and he was just supportive of that. So cool. So I see the house, and instantly I'm like, yep, this is it. We going in, we putting in more than, we're going in above asking. And what do you think I need to put in to get this house? So my realtor and I, we worked together, put in the offer, and they accepted my offer. The house was probably on the market for about 2 days. They accepted my offer. And even after they accepted my offer, there were still people coming to see the house. And my realtor was like, all right, you know, y'all can see it. It's, you know, that's cool, whatever, but y'all gotta go. Like, they've already accepted her offer. And so, you know, things just started moving. So between the time that my offer was accepted and I actually closed, that's when Dallas got hit with that really, really, really cold weather, right? For about a week, we were just cold. And so during that time, unfortunately, my palm trees at the pool died. But of course, my concern is the pipes. You know, if the pipes burst in this house that I have an offer on, an accepted offer on, I hope the seller knows that it's going to be their responsibility to, you know, do the fixing and whatever. The house is still their responsibility. It's not my responsibility just yet. So luckily my realtor came over and he was checking in on the house. He was like, everything looks good. I'm going to turn on the heat. So, you know, the house will be taken care of and it will be okay. And it was. And I was just so thankful for him for doing that. And I was just so thankful that there was nothing that happened to the home before I could close on the home. Within this time period as well, the guy I was dating dumps me. Y'all, that's a long story. We're going to have to get that in another video. But he dumps me. He stopped talking to me. So I'm like, all right, well, you know, one monkey don't stop no show, right? So I'm like, that's cool. I'm going to figure out how to get these floors done without him. You know, I was good before him. I'm going to be good after him. It's no big deal. I'm going to make it work. God going to make it work. Something going to happen. So still between this time period, this is still that same time period. Between the offer accepted and me closing in on the home, of course I get it inspected. All of this stuff is going well. My dog gets sick and my dog passes away. He passed away on a Monday. I closed on my home that Friday, 26th of March. And I remember going, well, actually, before even going to the closing table, my sister flies in to be with me because my dog has passed away. I'm just devastated. I'm emotional. I'm hysterical, whatever. So she catches the first flight out of Atlanta airport and flies into Dallas to be with me. And so she's actually here when I'm closing on my home. And I'm like, wow, like what's the coincidence? I'm not by myself. So we go to closing and I remember signing all of these papers. You're initialing, you're signing, and actually my lender had sent me the papers before signing so that I can get a preview of the papers and I can read through every single thing, every single question that I have before I go to the closing table to actually close. And I remember signing my name. I mean, I was signing my name so many times. I know I spelled my name wrong in some of those places. It's okay. There's just so many papers. But after everything is done, my realtor asked me, why you don't seem excited? Like, you just closed, like you a homeowner. And I'm like, my dog died. Like, y'all, it was just so many emotions. Keep in mind, my boyfriend stopped talking to me, dumped me, ghosted me, pretty much. My dog died. And I'm closing on a home, all within a week and a half. And before that, it's freezing cold in Texas. Everything is frozen solid. So it was just a lot going on. But yeah, that was pretty much like my home buying experience. So one tip I would suggest to home buyers: when you're getting a lender, make sure you ask questions. Ask your lender, are you going to be the one that I'm dealing with on a daily basis? Are you the one that I'm going to be reaching out to if I have any questions, if I'm confused? Are you the person that I'm going to speak to? Or do you have other people on your team that would be available to help me? You know, because you're going to be looking at these legal documents. You're going to see a lot of money and figures and the zeros and commas. You're going to have questions. So you want to make sure that your lender is going to be there to answer those questions. Also, one thing that I did when I was talking to lenders, I had 3 different lenders to choose from. And I'm really big on experiences and customer service. And I remember one lender, he gave me like a login information to his website so that I could fill out some information. And I went to the site, I did what was told in the email, but I could not get in. It was saying, you know, you need a password. So I just waited, and I just waited. Because you know you gave me this website, right? So I'm just sitting there waiting. I never got the password for this site. So to me, you gave me half the information. I need you to operate in excellence. That to me was a sign of somebody who doesn't. So I didn't want to go with him. It was just as simple and easily as that for me. I wanted this experience to be as stress-free as it could be. I've heard horror stories about, you know, buying a home and closing on a home. And I didn't want to have to go through something as simple as you wanted me to log into a portal, but you didn't give me all the information I needed to log into the portal. So that was dead for me. Something else to consider. Consider your deal breakers. What are your must-haves in a home? For me, like I said, I went through that list. I needed to have a garage. I needed to have at least 3 bedrooms and at least 2 bathrooms. I wanted my ideal location to be between Dallas and Fort Worth. So anything outside of that, the home had to make me fall in love. I did not want to spend more than $250K for a home. Yeah, I got approved for more than that, but I didn't want to pay that much. For what? No, for me, this was not going to be my forever property. So that's why I did not want to put too much money into just buying the home. And of course, I wanted to make the home my own. So that was something else I had to consider with cost of a home. Did I want to get new floors? Did I want to upgrade my kitchen, my bathroom? That is going to cost more money. So the more money I could save just buying the home, the more money I would have readily available for me to make updates to the home. So that's why I was like very cautious about the offer price for the home. So yes, I did go above asking, but luckily for me, the home did appraise for what I put in the offer for. Because if it appraised for less than what I put in the offer for, then I would have had to come out of pocket for that difference. And no, I'm not in real estate. I'm not a real estate agent. I have not taken the test. I have not opened up materials. I'm not in the real estate industry at all whatsoever. This is simply me talking from the place of being a first-time home buyer. Something else that was very helpful for me, just off back, like your realtor. Make sure that it's somebody that you can trust, and make sure it's somebody who, again, operating in excellence. Because you want to close on this home. You don't want anybody else to come in and take this home from you. And what I mean from that is, if your lender or if your realtor is saying, hey, you need to provide X, Y, and Z, you need to make sure that you're providing X, Y, and Z to your realtor or to your lender, and they're getting that information over to where it needs to go. You don't want to deal with somebody who's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get back with you, and they never get back with you. Or I'm gonna send you some homes, and they never send you homes. You do not want to play around with something that you're gonna be spending commas on, right? Like, this is not, you know, a pair of jeans or an ice cream cone. This is a home. This is an asset. This is where you would possibly lay your head at night. So you don't want to, you know, just get with somebody because they tell you, oh, you should just go with me. And, you know, I'm big on supporting friends, but if you know your friend is not organized, or your friend is not responsible, or your friend procrastinates, you might not want to go with them as a realtor or as a lender. Just my advice. Another tip or advice, when looking for a home, going back to like your deal breakers, just, you know, make sure that what you want is realistic. And it's, when I say realistic, I mean, like, don't say you want 6 bedrooms, but you don't want to spend over $100,000. I don't know where you're gonna find that. You're not gonna find that in Dallas. I'll tell you that. You're not gonna find that in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Let it go. You're not. But also, like, be realistic as far as what you can afford and what fits your lifestyle. So for me, I didn't need 5 bedrooms because it's just me. Because, you know, that's more house to clean. That could possibly be higher utilities, higher, you know, electricity, and more room to furnish. I don't need that just because, you know, it looks good, or, oh, it gives me something to brag about. That really wouldn't fit my lifestyle. You know, I don't need a 2,500 square foot home. I don't need that. It's not realistic for me. Again, more house to clean. That's all I can think about is the dusting and the windows. No, I didn't need that. So I say that to say, just be realistic. Make sure that it matches the lifestyle that supports you and that you can afford. And speaking of affordability, when you get approved for the amount of house, you know, you can afford, don't really think of that as a goal. So let's say you get approved for $450,000 for a home. Do you really need a $450,000 home? Because again, this is just going based on your income and your credit score. It does not take into account your current expenses. If you have a car note, if you're paying student loans, it also does not account for if you want to remodel or upgrade anything in your home. And of course, it does not take into consideration utilities. So those are expenses that you have to personally budget for yourself. So keep that in mind when you're out looking for homes. I guess those are all my tips. I don't know. I'll probably come up with some other tips later. I'll probably do another video. But especially you first-time home buyers, best of luck to you. It is definitely possible. Remember, everything happens for a reason. If you don't get the home that, you know, you just thought was for you, you'll probably luck up and find a better home. I know I did. My third time was the perfect home for me. So to my first-time home buyers out there, best of luck to you in your search. Make sure you do your research. Make sure you do your due diligence before reaching out to realtors and other professionals to help you on your journey. And leave a comment below. If you have already purchased a home, how was your experience? What's something that may have happened to you that you want other people to know or just be aware of? Do you have any other tips that you would, you know, tell strangers, tell friends? I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.